Welcome back, everyone, to the last half an hour or so. We have a dragon to rescue.
Yep. All right. I think we can imagine that there's ballroom dancing happening, lots of political maneuverings happening among the hundreds of people who are here. One thing I forgot to ask if you could briefly describe: are you in a different costume than last time? If so, what does it look like?
Yeah, I'm definitely no longer the great horned owl anymore. I think
Okay.
acquiring all of these bruises and everything, I have taken advantage of Agorus's tailors to get me a kind of a Goblin King costume. So I've got kind of an elaborate face
Okay.
concealing mask with like the long ears and the dangling rings, and then I'm sort of hunched over, kind of around this bruise, which feels better, but let them misunderstand and let them
Uh-huh.
underestimate me now.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to cover that all up.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I guess Ananke will be going with like a maybe another hybrid type thing. Because last time I think that I was blending between like serpents and reptiles. So this time we'll go like the Eastern style dragon in transformation. So she's got the antlers and everything, but then her gown is very much this elaborate flowing koi fish fin type, thing.
Well, neat. So I think your dragon friend is going to tell you that he likes your dragon costume.
I got approval.
Yeah. Any other notable costume
Um,
points?
I feel like it would be really subversive to have like a demon costume. Um, so I think it would be not like just a demon costume, but it would be like a crow that has like horns or something like that, and like kind of
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, I think as far as Agorus goes for this night, the costume's probably much more minimal. Just being in like more courtly garb,
Okay.
presenting as Prince,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I'm supposed to be here.
Yep.
And maybe it has like a rocky kind of like motif to it, kind of like the Boulder people,
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
maybe from like Majora's Mask or something, like kind of
Uh-huh.
look slightly like a rocky outside.
Hmm.
Okay. Not Rocky the fighter, but Rocky people.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
both.
he's stony exterior this time. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yep.
putting that up right on the front. This is
Yep.
my
Okay. So one thing notable is that Morgaine is not in attendance tonight. Selim does approach Hrolf and uh, have a chat with you about how that went,
Hmm.
uh, and mention that Morgaine is not particularly happy. Uh, he
Yeah.
also makes a point later on of chatting with Agorus because you're friends, right? So he does not hold it against you that you were your cousin's uh, second for this duel, but he wants you to know that Morgan is not entirely happy about how that went. Um, she she has lost duels before. She is actually not known to be the most formidable Storm Knight. Uh, she's known for her leadership abilities. So it's not that she's never lost anything before, but she's seems to be rather annoyed about losing to that boy.
Yeah, I would sympathize with Selim and say I know I'm very surprised that Mother lost, but um, I suppose uh, the young ward had some fight in him yet, and a bit of trickery from Agorus. It seems. Good to pin it
Perhaps a
on you.
bit, although I must say that Valrio fought cleverly. So I will give him that.
It was an honorable duel.
Yes, yes, and the connection at the very end was quite an interesting touch. That was touch and go to the very last moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the papers are full of it now.
I'm sure.
It's just a picture of an empty room.
Right. It's too bad this world does not have recording devices.
No, it doesn't. But let's say that you did pick up a paper before you left, and there were several artist renderings of the duel. You weren't on page 1 because there's just so much stuff going on these days.
Mm-hmm.
But you were on. There was a feature article on page 3 with a couple of artist renderings of how the duel went.
Nice.
That's a quick
Along
work
with-
too.
Along with articles on a couple of other duels that occurred, but this is kind of being played up as the most dramatic one of the evening.
Wow. My brush with fame, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna frame that paper.
Yeah, you could frame the article up on your wall.
Right.
I'll just take it down whenever I'm feeling like particularly vengeful and just like, yes.
Uh-huh. You'd stroke it. All right. So it sounds like Ananke's plan is to wait until late in the evening. Okay, so you're not. So the dragon is going to be hanging out up on the, with the other animals up there. Nobody's treating the dragon badly. He's getting tidbits of food and things like that he likes. So you don't see any mistreatment going on. He has gone for a long time without being able to talk to anybody. So he's going to chatter at you all evening, asking you about details of your life and where you're from and where in the serpent you are and who your relatives are and what you've done. And he's just going to be chattering at you all evening because he hasn't had anybody to talk to, and he's kind of a kid as dragons go. So he's he's going to keep talking to you.
That's really adorable. But I think that him being a younger energy and whatnot, she's probably going to be more indulgent than you might expect. So she'll be grabbing different suitors and taking spins around the dance floor so that she can continue to stay in proximity and chat while not looking like she's just standing around lurking, right?
Sure. Yep. And again, I'll say that Ananke is not going to have any trouble doing that with pretty subtly. A couple of times you kind of chuckle at something that doesn't, that's slightly not relevant to what seems to be happening around you, but there's enough going on at the ball and so many people moving around that people would interpret that as you just saw something off there that you thought was funny. So that happens over the course of the evening. There are other things happening. At least one duel occurs tonight, off in the same room that you had your famous duel in. It's fairly normal for several duels to happen over the course of these balls. So yours was just one of a number of them. Let's see if there's anything that you want to try to accomplish during the social period of the evening. That's fine. Otherwise, we can skip ahead. You can kind of think of any details that you want to add in.
I have only a minor thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't technically figured out if anybody is in on a plot.
Okay.
And I imagine that at this point, or for this day, I'm probably up near the queen for the most part, or like up in the royal area.
Sometimes, you would have a couple of duties up there. Ceremonial duties,
Sure.
but you could spend much of the evening up there chatting with the queen and other important nobles. You could certainly make your excuses to go out on the dance floor or do other things or talk to other people.
Well, it's probably a decent vantage point too.
Sure.
So even just like watching under the guise of just kind of, observing the ball, stuff like that. Trying to keep track of if there's anybody. Again, this is kind of like intrigue central, so
Sure.
people being about Maybe
That
isn't
makes
as
sense.
weird, but trying to see if there's anybody doing anything out of the ordinary, or like seeing if there's somebody who I don't recognize or think shouldn't be interacting.
Sure, sure. Um, so that would probably fit most clearly under study, although you could make an argument for something else if you want to. You could certainly have other people, assist while you're doing that.
Sure.
Uh,
And for it's going to be study. Does it fall under the action of gathering information? Yes.
yeah, this is probably a gather information role, so it doesn't have a position.
Okay. Because we do also have the perk on the alliance sheet of surveillance,
Oh.
so +1 effect level.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that totally applies.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So yeah, so if you get a successful roll, then you'll get more detail.
Okay.
We also have an unattributed alliance promotion thing, or alliance upgrade, which we were talking between friends among the Crimson Guard and spies among the servants. If you want to kind of recruit some help as well.
Right, you have an unused ability which you can just declare at any point if you wish. Not ability, but upgrade.
Sure. And I probably spies among the servants makes the most sense. Like just keeping tabs on everybody all throughout the ball.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I think that makes sense, and I think that can give you, that gives you that's going to give you a higher level of effect. So let's say that you're checking in with people that you have connections with among the servants. You have spent, some years making, being unlike a stereotypical noble, but you actually, know these people, you know who their families are, you've made connections with them, you know the gossip, you talk with them, you've made a point of making this a thing.
Yeah. And this is important to me. I have no study, and I will push during this moment. Like, I think the entire ball, Agorus is probably stressing over this, trying to make sure he can spot it before it happens, to make it not as reactionary.
This is technically so it's a gather information. So it's technically a fortune roll with your with that action ability. So you're pushing for 1 die. You get an extra die for assistance from Valriaut. So he's keeping an eye on things and checking in with servants as well. So that sounds like 2 dice to me.
Okay.
And you get a 4. So that's a moderate. There's no consequence to that. It's just a moderate level of detail. And so I'm going to say this, that you, let's see, give me a second to think about details. So you're going to spot a couple of things over the course of the evening. One is that the servants tell you, you have a serving woman who, she's spending her time going around offering drinks to everybody. That's her job, and so she's going in and out of the kitchens to recharge her platter. But she's a particular friend of yours. You've made a nice connection with her. And she tells you that there's a rumor among the servants that there has been, people are afraid because there have been someone just a couple of days ago was going into some of the deeper storerooms where stuff is stored for years at a time to gather some, let's say, some wine, which it was 100 years old, so nobody's touched it in a long time. But they found footprints in the dust, and someone had taken some of the best bottles of wine, and which isn't that weird. Somebody could have broken in and stolen things, but then they saw those footprints going off into the deep catacombs where nobody's even supposed to go. they're blocked off, and they found a place where someone had broken through a sealed-off door into the deep catacombs, and the footprints just went off there and didn't come back. So the footprints looked like somebody came from the catacombs, stole some wine, stole a couple other things, and then went back. And the servants are talking about that. So that's a piece of rumor that is presented to you. And then Valriaut, you notice a strange thing happen, which is that one of the guests is talking to another guest, and you just see out of the corner of your eye that this person is talking to somebody, and Albert makes a adieu, I will see you later, and turns and walks over to someone else to talk to them. And you see, they're wearing a costume, so it's a little hard to see, but you can see that there's some kind of a shift in their facial features as they go and talk to this other person, such as that they are taking a slightly different identity as they go and talk to this person.
Yeah, that's an immediate, like, as soon as Valriaut sees that, he looks up toward the balcony where he knows that Agorus is keeping an eye on everything. And all I can see in this, if we're doing the cinematography real quick, is Valriaut looking up and then looking back at in the direction of the person who did the shift, and then back up, and then like the so yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe Agorus doesn't like sprint down or something, because this is obviously a touchy detail. But like later on in the night, as we gather together, I start just asking Valriaut for like, who were they talking to? Like, where were they making their rounds? This sort of thing. How quickly did you lose them? Like,
yeah, we'll start putting together a little bit of a picture here, because you're the guy coming out of the catacombs and stealing bottles of wine and cheese and crackers and things like that, and retreating back into the catacombs. That just makes me think that our person who was going to communicate with the philosopher statues just got hungry, came on up and stole some wine.
We're back to debate.
Back to debate. But yeah. Now we've got a known agent provocateur that's moving around.
So Valriaut, you could decide to pay more attention. Probably, I would say, study, possibly contrive, depending on exactly how you're approaching it, to just kind of keep track of this person, see if they make any other shifts, who they talk to. So that would be an action roll that's also a gather information roll.
Sure, I could see the study here, because we're trying to file away as many details and put together as many clues as who's in on it. I think the only way I could see it contrive is if I tried to position myself in such a way as they would try and involve me in the demonic plot, right?
Sure.
I think this is kind of Agorus' show. Which sounds more interesting to you?
Yeah, I think gathering details is fine. Trying to figure out who's involved.
All right, so I'm going to say that it's a controlled standard roll.
Okay, I like controlled standard. I'm more than willing to go ahead and roll 2 dice on that for you, if you're happy with that, Agorus.
Yeah, I could lend you my assist that I've got.
All right, so that's 3 dice. And
it's not good. It's not good at all.
All right. So I'm going to say that you are trying to subtly kind of keep an eye on this this person, see if they make any shifts, and one moment you're kind of keep an eye on things. The next moment this person turns and looks and locks eyes with you and turns away, and then you've lost them among the throng.
That was gather, right? So yeah.
So the consequences that you lost them.
Yeah, that's That's going to leave me sore, but I'm already sore, so it's okay.
Would it be possible for Ananke to try and get one of the, since he's disappeared, one of the people that he was dancing with to dance with her? Maybe she can just ask some subtle questions while they take their turns around the dance floor.
Okay, what kinds of questions would you be asking?
Just kind of subtly alluding to their former company. I've never seen that gentleman at any of these parties before. What is your connection, or who are they?
Okay, you can do that. So you find a young Agorian noble who is charmed by the idea of dancing with someone so exotic as yourself. And he is, you're doing a round around the floor with him. Are you trying to persuade? Are you trying to study?
I think it would either be a persuade or maybe a contrive, but either way, I'm happy with persuade. Just trying to kind of get him to talk about the person, or barring that, if he's uncomfortable talking about the person, that says something too, right?
Sure. So I'm going to call that, again, a controlled standard roll.
Okay.
Just put him in an armbar. Make it an overpower. It'll be fun.
Can I hear a devil's bargain?
Yeah, do you have one to propose?
I don't know.
Let's see. So devil's bargain could be that either way, he's going to talk to someone who's going to talk to someone who will spread information that you're asking the wrong kinds of questions.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I'm always asking the wrong questions.
Okay, but questions that are suspicious for the sort of person that you're trying to connect to.
Partial?
All right.
Yeah, I rolled on her behalf. We're sharing the battle stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So you get a 5. Again, he's quite charmed by you. You get that. So because of that devil's bargain, he's going to be just chatting about how interesting you were to other people who will talk to other people. Additionally, because it was a controlled roll, there's another consequence, which I'm going to say is I'm going to say that there is a thing that's happening that you're not aware of that will be that consequence that you might find out with, but will change effect momentarily if you continue along with this. But he tells you that yes, that gentleman, yes, he I saw him speaking with Princess Jelenum, which I thought was very interesting because normally she has a very constrained, very specific coterie of people that she speaks with. Obviously, she speaks with her brother, the prince, and her mother, the queen. But I did not recognize him, which was unusual. Usually, I'm rather clued in to what goes on among the nobility here, and I have not seen him speak to her, and I did not recognize him.
Oh, then we are very much in the same boat, and I think from there she'll just kind of play it off as though it was a passing coincidence. The devil's bargain obviously will come to pass no matter what, but she will do her best to not seem overly interested.
Overly interested, sure. Okay. And you chat with him for a while, and then the dance ends, and you move on to the next thing. Is Hrolf doing anything while this all occurs, or?
Uh, just one thing that gave me the idea. Well, first of all, I want to talk to some other, um, I guess, like nerds in the area, and I want to get some information. But I think I'm willing to just have it be kind of a flashback when I need, you know, I
Okay.
want to have a practice debate with them or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to find philosophers to debate with.
Yes, exactly. So
Oh,
that when
interesting.
I
Okay.
need, if I need to debate with this statue or something, or talk with the statue and make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, I
Okay.
I have at
You
least a
have
little
some
practice.
background. Okay.
Yeah.
That is perfect grounds for a flashback going at a later time.
But the
All
other
right.
thing
Uh-huh.
is I at least want to I think make a fun close to the scene is if
Sure.
I approach was it Princess Jelan Jelanum
Gelatinum.
Jelanum
Yeah.
and ask her if she's familiar with one named Tyron.
Ah, okay. So how do you do that? Do you want to dance with her
Sure, yeah.
or okay,
Ask her
so
for
you
a dance.
approach her and you met her just the
Mhm.
previous night.
Mhm.
So she is uh, s- uh, talking with a couple of courtiers over in the corner, and you approach, and there's a dance that's starting up, and you ask her if she would like to dance. She turns, she smiles, she says that she would be delighted to dance with Master Hrolf, and you take a turn around the dance floor with her. Um, and you're going to how are you going to play this? Do you just happen to mention a name? Do you
I'll be like, I've heard your brother talk before about one named Tyron. Um,
hmm,
seems an important
let's
character
see,
in his past. Are you familiar?
Tyron, is that a person from Agorus?
Um, I'm not sure. I was hoping you could tell me more, but
Hmm.
perhaps, perhaps I'm mistaken. Perhaps it was your cousin Valriaut who had a history with this person.
All right. So she's not going to uh, clearly recognize
Okay.
to you. However, um, you could make a roll to see if she is hiding anything here.
Yeah, that sounds good. Or I might kind of change what I said and say
Okay.
like, uh, so in response to is he from Agorus? I say, I don't believe so, but I do think I met him once. Would you like me to introduce you? Uh, perhaps together we can find out more about your brother through this mutual contact. And I want to try to contrive a meeting between the three of
Okay.
us.
Uh, all right. She says she's always interested in her brother's goings on. He's so quiet sometimes and so secretive with his, his secret society and going on about threats to the realm. Uh, so it's always interesting to see what he's up to. I find it rather amusing. So, what are you trying to make happen here?
Um, if she seems completely unfamiliar with, um, I'm kind of extrapolating demons in general from this one contact.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to put them like together, um, because I think somehow I'm willing to coordinate with Agorus and see like what really is their relationship.
Okay.
Uh, is it better to have her and him work together in secret, or have him eat her, or something like that?
Okay. All right.
What?
Well, you gave me a face that said she's not good, and I was like, do I need
That one
to
way.
solve some problems here?
All right.
Make two
She's a
friends?
Uh,
princess.
all right. So, why don't you make So I'm going to suggest you make a just a simple gather information roll to get a sense of whether she's, her pretense is whether she is pretending something or whether she's really got something going on.
Okay, so I have 0 dots in that, and the night is young,
Right.
and I don't think I want to spend stress just yet.
Okay.
So,
But it's
or I've got 0
so
dots
it
in
would be,
studies. Sorry, I could contrive something.
yeah.
It would be 1 dot.
So it would be controlled standard. So even with 1 or 0 dots, you're not risking a lot.
Right. So I think I'm trying to contrive something. I'm trying to contrive a scenario in which she either confesses something or I get, some information or something.
So just as a side question for Hrolf, or for the game in general, we've obviously demonstrated that demons have the ability to shift. This demon that you speak to, I don't know how solidly demons are able to present themselves, like the concept of true name or whatever. You obviously know this creature and you know it's a demon, but does Hrolf know every time, or is he able to present himself as alternate versions that you would not know? And the question being then, Jelenum, if she could be interacting with the same demon, not knowing it. That's the question in general. But like, if you introduce them, will they know?
Now.
Yeah, she's the demon.
Or I'm the demon. No, I don't know.
Yeah. We haven't ruled it out.
I just talked to myself in that earlier scene. All right, I think maybe this roll will kind of give us some information too. Like some world information. So I'm just going to roll the 1 die for contrive.
Okay.
And I got a 6.
And you roll 6. So you are pretty sure that she doesn't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
That she does. That you're pretty sure that she is not lying, and so whatever plan you are attempting to interact with her is not, as far as you can tell, going to involve her. Her lying to you. She is perfectly capable of lying. As far as you can tell, she's not lying right now.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe not like right now, but maybe for a future night or something. I offer to set up a meeting between them. And again, we can see where that goes or what we need it for. But I think that's a youthful connection to make.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So she's willing to entertain the prospect of a meeting, simply on the word of a gentleman such as yourself that it would be worth her time.
All right. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think
sometimes you just poke and prod until something comes up, right?
Right.
We're just throwing intrigue at the wall now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if she was interacting with that other demon or whatever demon it was, then like she might be interesting to them, to the demons, or she might be willing to.
Yep.
I don't know.
And obviously, one play you could bring up is, Agorus talks about demons. You could talk to her about what she thinks of his obsession with these things.
Sure. Right.
That would be another way of kind of poking to see what kind of reaction would be generated.
True.
I've talked to plenty. They're all my friends. Oh, that's it. That's what we needed.
Yeah, I might just ask that
Here's
question.
the whole plan.
Get that general information, yeah. Would that be just another quick roll? And
yeah, I think so.
It's about time to wrap up, but
we're getting toward the end, but if you wanted to take one further action and then we can wrap up, that would be cool.
So I'll do something like you said. I'll say like, what do you think of Agorus's obsession with demons? And
okay. I think that's a reasonable role with connive. You're kind of trying to get a plan in place to engage with her.
I got a 1 though, so.
Oh, okay. So she tells you that she thinks it's all rather silly, and obviously there are things out in the Umbra that are risky, but the guard is very strong and keeps any inappropriate things out of Agorus, and so she's amused by his hobby, but she's not impressed by it.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Jelenum has just graduated to gate.
Sounds good. Do we want to wrap up there for tonight?
Sure. So yeah, I thought that went well. Anybody want to take us out or mention your social media contacts or anything along those lines?
Why are you shaking your head? You know what's coming up. So, this weekend, I am the editor for our podcast as well. And we interviewed Drake and Navi, and they will be on the podcast this Saturday. Saturday or Sunday, whichever day I get it up.
Yeah. So in case you're not sick of Drake and Navi,
Mm-hmm.
You can get more.
Yep.
Talking about their game.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about our game Court of Blades, which is another one of these kind of intrigue-laden Forge in the Dark games. Although ours takes place in a world of gunpowder fantasy, romantic skullduggery, and Renaissance magic. So it's a pretty good one. I had a lot of fun recording the episode. I think Navi did too.
Yeah, it was
And we'll have to have it on streamed at some point too. My name is Jacob. As I said, I'm the editor of the podcast, but also, which you can check out it's Hacked in the Dark. You can find it on all podcast locations. At some point, we might be taking down old ones, but they'll all be up on YouTube as well. And I'm also writing Asphalt and Trouble, a game about bikers in the climate apocalypse, and should hopefully have a new version out soon, but I keep saying that, and then it keeps getting pushed back another month, so who knows.
Yep. I know the feeling. So I'm David. I wrote this game. It's in development. This is in some ways a playtest game, but the current version of it is available on itch.io under Small Cool Games, or you can just search for Vergence. I'm also at Small Cool Games, the digit 1 on Twitter.
Awesome.
We are Navi and Sean Drake. You can find us on Twitter at NaviMusing and at Drake and Dice. And you can check out that game we were talking about earlier at courtofblades.com.
And then I'm Travis. Making nothing cool ever. Just joking. But I do...
really good at playing.
Yeah, I play games and I make stuff for games.
You're an official playtester now.
Yeah, Dogmite actually launching a video series tomorrow. Just a short little thing that features a lot of the employees, including me. So feel free to check that out. I'm sure it'll be on their YouTube. And you can check me out on Twitter at Octosplosion if you'd like to. I basically just retweet smart things other people say.
And you post poetry from your character about Valriaut, so I'll be looking to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll be looking to see how that plays out over the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have to rap about demons.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm putting together rhymes already.
Demons, Dragons, and Duels is the name of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. If you missed any previous episodes, they're all up on YouTube under Hacked in the Dark, and you can join us again same time next week, 6:30 EST, and we will see you then. Take care.
Okay.